So, heading back into this game and trying to recast it, we've got HappyHappy on the right hand side, playing as Huns of course, because this is game 1 of the Arabia 1v1 Invitational, and that's going to be a Hun war in every set that you see of this tournament. He's playing on the right hand side in the red colour. On the far left hand side from Canada we've got Slam playing in blue as Huns. Looking at the maps, I was saying before that Slam's map looks pretty good. He's got 2 good wood lines on either side of him, pretty close to the TC, sort of towards the back of the map. Golds, whilst they're kind of exposed to a degree, they're also sheltered by this wall that he'll be able to do between the 2 tree lines if he so chooses, and the main gold is very close to the TC, and I think it's pretty decent. Nice main stone in the back, and then lots of space to boom up in the corner with walls that he can do across here that are very nice. So I think a really nice map for Slam actually, and one that's not too vulnerable to raiding. Looking at HappyHappy's map, it's not terrible. It's got an okayish main gold. Wood lines are looking okay as well, and he can do some decent wall offs like this, but it is more open than Slam's, especially towards the top part. But again, he's got lots of space in the back with a back stone and some back wood and gold to retreat to, and lots of space to boom up. So pretty decent maps for both players, just slightly favouring Slam. Tripping over my words here. I'm gonna have a little bit of cheat knowledge when I start talking about what Happy Scout's gonna do in a minute, because he sent his scout forward very early, having just found out the minimum amount of information that he needs to know about his base, which is basically, in fact he didn't even spot his main gold. Didn't even bother to find his main gold before he went to go and explore Slam's base, so there's only one thing on his mind. And although he's taking the long way round, he is going to run into Slam's boar. And Slam's scout is right there. He's going to try and take some kind of fight on the hill, but he's downhill and can't really stand there taking that fight forever. And he's going to just go and take that boar, despite Slam's scout being there, being watchful. He did go back and he's allowed Happy to go and take the boar, but you can see that Happy was just not really doing the correct manoeuvring with his scout, not zigzagging, just running in too much of a straight line, and the scout obviously moves a lot faster than the boar, and the aggression was lost, so the boar should run back, and Happy's gonna go back and have another go. Let's see if he's any more successful this time. Doing a little bit more zigzagging, but it just looks like he's gonna get too far away from the boar once again, and off it goes. So 2 attempts at laming from Happy, a loss of 32 hit points on his scout, and that means he can't take another 2 hits from the boar, has to go back. And despite not really scouting any of his map and heading forward 2.5 minutes to go and lame Slam, he doesn't get the boar, and all he's done is lose a lot of HP on his scout, and by the looks of it interrupted his own Dark Age quite a bit, because he doesn't have a boar under his TC at the moment. Mill was being built pretty late, and does he even see his... No, he doesn't even see his other boar, so that's okay. Actually, it's run out of the black tiles there, because that could have been a disaster. Imagine if his boar was kind of right in the middle of a bigger piece of fog of war like this, and he hadn't found it. So Slam, meanwhile, he did push in 1 deer even before Happy tried to steal his boar, but he's gonna go and push in is that the second? Yeah, I think it's the second deer that he's got pushed in, so looking good for Slam there. He seemed to have 4 on wood pretty early, so that would suggest a drush build for him, unless Slam does 4 on wood scouts. But if my memory serves me correctly, Slam is an advocate of doing scouts with 4 on wood. So one of those players where he'll trick you into thinking he's doing a drush when he's actually doing scouts. Meanwhile, Happy has 4 on wood now, but I didn't see how early he got 4 on wood, and I feel like he's probably more likely to be doing scouts than a drush at this point. So I think scouts for both players is still going to happen. Slam getting a loom now at just 7 minutes and 15 of game time on 21 pops, so he's probably going to click up after this. Having pushed in 2 deer, he'll almost certainly have the food, and indeed he does. Going to have half the deer and 4 sheep left under his TC, so really nice Dark Age for him, lots of natural food left as he clicks up, and that's going to serve him well when he's able to do scouts. Meanwhile, Happy's having a pretty inefficient Dark Age after expending so much time trying to steal that boar and then not actually getting the boar in. Sending out another 6 vills forward potentially here. He doesn't look like he's going to go and make a lumber camp with those. And they're going, and they're still going. And these villagers, I guess, going to stone and building a mining camp. Let's switch his point of view. Yes, indeed. So 6 villager tower rush from Happy. Not scouts at all. Am I counting correctly? Yes, I am. So let's just see what if Slam is going to see this. Let's look at his scout. See that Happy's taking this more northern route. Probably going to start off with a tower over here to take control of Slam's golds, I would think. Slam getting that barracks up and doing some walling. He didn't go for the slightly more forward walls that he could have done, but these are pretty good to start off with. Going to wall off the whole southern side of his base, but he's not aware of what Happy's doing right now. And so let's see at what point he actually does become aware of it. Just keep the fog of war on for now with the unit spy. Barracks coming down for Happy, so he's not going to go just towers. We're going to see some military units as well from him. Economy at home is just keeping about half a dozen villagers on food and just a few villagers on wood actually. So not going to be able to be doing anything crazy like putting down 2 archery ranges and stuff, something like that. It'll probably just be a handful of skirmishes supporting these towers. But I think this tower is still going to be a surprise to Slam. He hasn't seen it, and he hasn't seen the barracks. Now his scout is actually going to come and find the barracks. And that tower goes up, so this is Slam just now reacting to that forward that's happening to him. You can see his quick reaction is wall on the left hand side to try and restrict Happy's movements around the left hand side of his base, because he knows he's kind of safer here for now, and Happy won't be pushing into his woodline so quickly. Actually, Slam's TC picking off, looking like 1 villager and the scout of Happy. So that's quite a good result for Slam there, because it reduces the scouting that Happy has to try and find better places for his towers, and also 1 villager less, obviously important in terms of getting up those towers faster, as well as any villager fights that might end up happening. Really, I think Happy's going to have to come out and start attacking on this side of the base instead, because he's not going to get too far there unless he wants to walk through the TC, and obviously that's pretty suicidal, so I guess he's just going to have to come in here and try and start towering up on these berries and farms and advancing towards the woodline. Meanwhile, some of his own scouts are now out. Happy was trying to wall the whole map, but Slam's too fast for him, has reached his base in time, and no such thing is going to be allowed to happen here. And those scouts are in, and I suggest they're going to do quite a lot of damage, because don't forget that Happy doesn't have a barracks at his own base. His barracks is in Slam's base, so no spearmen for him to defend this. And this is just looking really messy. He's taking villager casualties, but also his economy is just in tatters. Like, they had about 8 villagers on the berry bushes, and they're now all just chasing after scouts that are running away. Another villager going down, and probably going to be a third, unless Slam just chooses to run away and conserve his scouts from this huge number of villagers that are coming to face him. I want to go and have a look at what Slam's doing. I mean, sorry, what Happy's doing in Slam's base, if anything. But I need to keep my eye on this. It seems like Happy's going to just wall those scouts in with him, which is bold. He's actually kind of deflected them towards his woodline. He did get 1 spear into his base, but given that he's only got 3 villagers on wood anyway, he doesn't really want that to be those scouts to be going there. Looks like 1 scout going down in exchange for 1 villager, but that means Happy currently has 2 villagers collecting wood, which is not ideal at any stage of the game past about 5 minutes, let alone at the 15-minute mark. And those scouts could continue to do work, 2 of them on low HP, but as long as they avoid spears, they might still be able to pick a vill. Happy, meanwhile, spent the entire time trying to bash down this gate, and looks like he's just about going to succeed on that and break down that gate, but it's just like his whole forward has been idle pretty much, or wasted in this time. Finally, Happy's clearing those scouts out of his base. And I'm really surprised that he's not more than 2 villagers behind on Slam. In all of this, I didn't spot whether Slam was doing wheelbarrow. Maybe that could explain why Happy hasn't fallen more behind. Because I don't really think enough of Slam's eco has been idle for him to have actually had to idle his TC or anything. So, tower trying to stop Happy from pushing any further in, and that will work just fine. So if Happy wants to continue doing any further damage, he'll have to start moving in a clockwise direction around Slam's base, but he's found another hurt villager, and if that spear wasn't there, he might just have been able to actually take it down. Seems like Happy's finally going to finish that wall off. It's not stonewalled everywhere, of course. And he's finally got some kind of wood economy in this game. Second lumber camp now. Stealing Slam's gold, but Slam doesn't even need to take that gold. He can mine it over here, which he already is doing. And he's actually thinking about going out there and making a second mining camp outside of his walls, because it's safe for him to do that. He knows he's got the map control because he's the one making some military units, and Happy's kind of done a heavily villager-based tower forward and then lost a load of stuff at home. So he can just keep tabs on what's coming out of the buildings that Happy's got forwards and keep his scout alive in Happy's base to know whether he's making military units at home. So no harm in Slam emerging from those walls that he had, although he is going to just wall further forward in these really nice choke points. And sealing his map off well now, I would say, really well. Happy's going to go for this tower that Slam can see, but I don't think it's going to bother him too much really, as long as Happy doesn't start getting another tower like here, or maybe pushing through this wall and getting it one here or something. It's only going to deny a couple of farms. It's really not a really big deal, I'd say. So Slam on his way to the Castle Age now. He's got 1 archery range, so I guess we'll see a transition into more archer-based units in the Castle Age. Let's have a look what Happy's doing, if he's anywhere near the Castle Age. But as you might have guessed, given this absolute state that his economy has been in for the entirety of this game, he's nowhere near the Castle Age. Only sitting on 4 farms right now. He is hunting some deer at least, but food economy nowhere near what it needs to be to allow him to go to the next stage, and really it's not even anything like what it needs to be to allow him to do army either. He's basically relying on keeping Slam busy with towers whilst he just tries to sort his economy out. HappyHappy did manage to get that second tower, well, third tower up over here though, in this direction, which means that he did take away some of Slam's farmland. But as I said, Slam's got a lot of space especially now he's made these walls here, and he can just make another farming economy somewhere else. He's doing 2 more archery ranges over here and kind of trying to hide them from Happy, because instead of trying to do them somewhere where it's in range of his towers and he sees it, he's just going to do it in a different part of his base. And it's good because it's not really giving away as much information to Happy about the fact that he's going to be switching into archers or cavalry archers when he hits the Castle Age. Doing some upgrades on the way there as well, gold mining and fletching. I really like how active Slam is being with this scout. Every time I check back on it, it's moving. Like to stop it very briefly there, but he's just making sure Happy doesn't walk over and stick it with a spearman or something. Just keep continually gaining new information about what Happy's doing with his economy at home, and that allows him to predict what Happy might be doing in this area as well, by knowing what resources he has available to him. I mean, he'll have seen that Happy has only just started to add a reasonable number of farms, so he'll know that he's going to be so delayed up to the castle age. It's just really impressive scouting by Slam, and really impressive kind of continual micromanagement not to let that scout go idle and get killed by a spearman. Now getting cavalry archers out to try and deal with some of these villagers that are building this tower that was pushing into his farms. Don't think he's going to be able to deny the tower, but I don't know if he managed to pick up one villager whilst he was there. No, I don't think so, because the other one's probably in that tower there, but they're not really going to be too much of an issue now. Siege Workshop has come out for Slam, and he can keep repairing that mangonel all he likes and just gradually bash down the towers. It's not as though Happy's got a bunch of scouts or a knight or something like that to come in and take out the villagers. Slam's, if he has any army at all, he can just destroy those villagers, for example, that might come out and try and bash the mangonel away. But I don't think that Slam is actually too concerned with those towers, to be honest. He doesn't need that much food, because he basically realises that Happy is so far behind in this game that he can just probably go over and lay siege to his base right now. And of course, if you're a Huns player and you're aiming to stick around in the castle age and you've got some of your upgrades in, you're not really spending that much food if you're just doing like cavalry archers and mangonels. So he doesn't really care that much that he's lost some of his farms. He's got enough food coming in to keep his TC open. He's got fletching, no bloodlines or bodkin for now, but he'll probably be able to get them in due time. I'm sure he'll think about laying a couple more farms around here or around this mill just to help him get that little bit of extra food in the bank to get those upgrades. Mangonel 4 Slam is now coming forward, so he's going to start trying to break down these walls. Happy will just try and re-wall behind. Remains to be seen if he's going to be walling far behind enough, and it seems not. Even with just fletching on those cavalry archers, they are able to drive away Happy, and he's got to re-wall one or two tiles further back than he's trying to right now. Slam could really do with an extra mangonel just to break through there. Bit of a cheeky town centre coming up here, actually, taking away the third goal of HappyHappy, which, to be fair, he's not really using it now, so Slam just thinks, you know, I don't mind if I do. I'm going to help myself to this if you don't want it. It's hard to see HappyHappy ever emerging from behind this shell of stone walls, to be honest. He is at least on the way to the castle age with a 26-minute double-bit axe and horse collar, which tells you everything about the state that his economy has been in for the entirety of this game. He's getting scale barding armor, so maybe he's going to do knights in the castle age. Maybe that's his plan. Not producing scouts for now, so it's not going to be light cav. 5 vills on gold. He'll need to add maybe one or so more to ensure that he can continue producing knights all the time once he gets to castle age, and maybe getting that +2 armor. Slam, meanwhile, still on fletching and no bloodlines for now. Don't see a sign of an extra mangonel. It seems like he's just going to probe. He knows he's miles ahead in this game, and he's not going to be over-committing or anything. He'll just apply some pressure with that mangonel and keep his cavalry archers active on the walls until he's ready to push in more. So he is now going to reclaim some of his farmland from those towers. He's got 2 rams and a mangonel here. Wants to be careful not to mangonel down his own ram. He has just almost taken out that left hand ram with the mangonel. But he's going to get at least 1 tower here, should get down the rest of them afterwards, and dealing with some of the villagers as well that popped out of that tower and had to run. Happy's now only got 1 villager mining Slam's gold. But yeah, we see some knights from Happy, just 2 with +1 armor and no bloodlines for now. He's making a gate over here, so he is going to actually be pushing out of his walls at some point. I see that Slam's doing a bit of unconventional mangonel raiding here. Don't often see mangonels used to raid woodlines, but there you go. That's what you've got going on in this game. Happy is now up to a decent number of knights. He's got 5 pushing out there, another couple in reserve. No sign of any more upgrades for now, but he's going to send those forward. He's not interested in trying to clean this up. Slam with a monastery and picking up. Actually, he's just got a couple of cavalry archers up here for now. I'm trying to find out where that monk that he has might be. I'm guessing. Oh, it's actually sitting right behind the monastery. I didn't spot it there. He's got in the 1 relic. I was wondering if he might be making more to counter knights from Happy, but I guess this is the first that he's seen of those knights. I feel like those knights are going to do okay while Slam doesn't have Bodkin and doesn't have Bloodlines, but at the same time it is only 5 knights, and Slam has about a dozen cavalry archers back in his base and can probably take care of that pretty easily. Knights picking up a few kills on the farms, but at this point Slam is sitting on 3 town centres and he's still 18 villages in the lead. And Happy's just going to be pushed away. He's getting an idea though of just how far ahead of him Slam is in this game. He's able to see that he's on multiple town centres, he's got quite a lot of farmland, and that he's got an army sitting in his base as well as the one that was attacking his walls. So Happy just having to retreat basically. You can't do anything here. Slam's monk diving into the TT there, just about escaping those knights, and now that Slam is on about 25 cavalry archers, a handful of knights is just nothing. Really the only thing Happy's got going for him right now is that he seems to be kind of outmaneuvering Slam a tiny little bit and just popping in for some raids or to kill a ram or something and then running away before the cavalry archers really close in and take out his units, but he's 20 villages and 20 military behind. And it really feels like a question of just waiting for Slam to make his move. It is quite ambitious and forward thinking from Happy actually, because he had so little map control and so little presence on the map, and yet he's doing that siege workshop forwards. I don't know whether that's with a view to taking out Slam's little forward base from up on top of that hill that's there. You all Happy's knights here are just running around in circles, getting shot up. Not really making too much of an effective exit from Slam's base there. Slam is here and he's going to convert 1 knight almost certainly. Yeah, getting that, and he'll probably be able to take out that mangonel if he goes for it. Suggests that Slam's monk is going to go down, but having converted a knight that will then kill a mangonel probably. The monk has certainly done his work. He died for the cause. And there we go. Happy with a slightly salty G, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. And that's it. I'm going to back out really quickly. I'm not going to bother staying in the game and summing it up. I think you can all see what went on there with Happy's ineffective forwards, and I'm just going to play you I'm going to take down lots of the information off the screen, and then I'm just going to play you the videos from the remaining games of the series in the next 45 minutes. I probably won't be able to show you all of the games, of course, and not, like all the footage, but I'm going to show you what I can before we have to give the channel up for Jigsy casting Riot versus Mentalist live. So I'm just going to turn my mic off. I'm going to show you this video that Pike has streamed, because he did stream all of the remaining games from the series. He did live stream them, so this is Pike streaming live. Let me just mute my mic.